And we are back. Welcome back to the Smoke Break JBR, the Just Be Real podcast where we sit down, hang out, and just be real.
Heck yeah.
What's going on, Brandon?
Not much. Having a pretty all right day.
Yeah, same.
My back's getting a little bit better.
Oh, yeah, how's that going?
It's getting a little bit better. It still feels like a rib's out of place. You felt that.
Still, yeah, you're still kind of fucked
like
up,
a rib
man.
that's like sticking out still, so it's getting better.
It's a slow process, but
Yeah.
it's a rib, dude. It's harder to fucking heal.
Yeah. How's it going with you, man?
It's going. You know how it is. Kind of
yeah.
the same. Oh, by the way, that track was by my coworker, Iram. If you want to find him, you want to find him on SoundCloud. That's what we're doing it on. It's Irum. EYERUM.
Check him out.
Check
Dope
him out.
Music, lo-fi hip-hop. Holy shit, that's like
We
our
fucks with
child-
lo-fi. Literally, he walked in here on his day off, too.
Oh, shit.
And shout out to Explicit Vape, by the way.
Yeah,
we're
many
letting
thanks, many
record
thanks.
here again, as always. But he showed up today, or not today, like last week. And we were having a conversation, and somehow it came up that he makes, lo-fi hip-hop beats. I was like, no fucking way. He's like, yeah, man, it's like a little passion project that I do on the side. It's, what I like. I'm like, yo, do we mind if we use your beats for our podcast? And he's like, yeah, man, go for it. So
Dude, hell
told
yeah.
him we'd give him a shout out on here. So
Fuck yeah.
shout out to Iram.
Yeah, that
AKA
sort of music is probably it's like the music of our childhood.
Yeah.
And to go off on a little tangent here,
Go for it, man. That's what this is about.
Wasn't it about because like Toonami?
Yeah. I
the
forgot who
in-between
said
shows?
it was. It was Toonami that kind of got our generation into lo-fi hip-hop beats is
Like
because that was
Samurai
always
Champloo and stuff like
yeah
that? Uh-huh.
that was always our transition music. So if you were one of those kids that actually like watched cartoons and watched Toonami and did all that
Late night
and you
cartoons?
yeah, those late night cartoons,
Dude, heck yeah.
that was my shit, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That was my shit.
Yu
See,
Yu
I can go back
Hakusho?
into that. See,
Bleach?
okay. See, this is what okay, you got me hooked now.
Okay.
Because I love Toonami. That was my shit.
Heck
But
yeah,
remember
dude.
back in the day you had to hide being a fan of anime?
Yeah, you did.
And now it's like socially acceptable.
well, in
It's pretty much socially acceptable.
certain ways.
Certain ways, yeah.
Because look, if you look at it from like the hip hop perspective,
Mhm.
anime is accepted if it includes a lot of fighting,
True.
a lot of combat,
True.
like martial arts.
Yeah.
Like that.
Like Dragon Ball Z,
Heck
one of the
yeah.
most referenced.
Boom.
You know,
Kenshiro.
Yeah,
There
true.
you go.
Yep.
But other ones like let's say Neon Genesis Evangelion, I don't think it's really that popular within the hip hop scene.
Oh, yeah.
But it is popular amongst other fandoms because it's very violent, very graphic. Maybe within certain fandoms like that.
But it's
So
just,
it's
it's one of those
more-
things that I've noticed more.
It's more open.
Yeah, it's more open than it
It's-
was before.
Mhm.
Like, it's ridiculous, man. I
Yeah.
remember being a kid and not being allowed, not necessarily not being allowed, but if you said out loud, like, oh, yeah, I like fucking Yu Yu
Naruto.
Hakusho, I like Naruto. They're like, what the fuck is that? And it's like, oh, I guess you don't watch Toonami. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, you're just a fucking nerd. Now it's like, oh, yeah, dude, you watch My Hero Academia?
Yo,
Awesome.
Remember
Yo,
Toonami?
did you watch Death
Toonami
Note?
was the shit back in the day. It's like, dude, you
Like,
used
where
to
were
make
you
fun of
growing up,
everybody.
motherfucker? Like,
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
Trying to hide it away, and now you're like, oh, dude, my life too. It's like, wait, hold up.
Hey.
Huh? I grew up with Gen 1 Naruto, man. I got the first fucking book.
Suck my ass, dude. It's fucking ridiculous.
What was your favorite show on Toonami?
Ooh, oh, besides Dragon Ball Z?
Besides
Dragon Ball Z? Yu Yu Hakusho or Gundam?
yeah, for me
Gundam.
it was Bleach.
So I think I talked about this last week, or maybe I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast, but I've been kind of jumping back into the old animes of when we were kids, seeing if they still hold up.
No, you haven't.
I
mentioned
haven't
it
talked
yet.
about it on
No.
here, huh? We've only talked about it privately.
Mhm.
So I recently jumped into, for anyone who remembers our childhood decently,
Yeah,
does anyone remember Gundam Wing?
Gundam.
Gundam
Wing.
Wing was the shit.
The-
Still is the shit.
One of the reasons why most of us got into Mech Warriors.
Yeah.
Mechs a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Because of that.
Dude, honestly, I'm
fuck.
rewatching it. It still holds up.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
such a good show. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of build up. There's a lot of like cool action. You got big ass robots destroying the fuck out of each other. It's awesome.
They put a lot of time and effort into making the detail like really good on all the different fight scenes and like the swarm missiles when he fires them off. Dude, I'm like, okay, in Elite Dangerous, there's one weapon type called the Hound Swarm Missile Pack,
Oh, I left
And
my
it
drink all the way
shoots-
over there.
and it
Go
shoots out like I want to say seven missiles at once, and they just go flying out in a swarm and then hit the target all at impact. So what a couple people like to do is get a ship that has a lot of hard points or places where you can put these giant weapons and stuff. Go out into the combat areas where you're fighting, pirates and stuff. lock onto one guy and fire like 70 missiles in a massive. It's like,
so basically just being.
And when they record it and they do the like edits and everything, they overlay fucking Gundam.
Oh
on that
god,
shit.
I love it.
So dude, heck yeah, man.
Yeah,
so
I was
much.
watching it. I'm watching it on Hulu.
I'm
so glad Hulu has such a great anime selection.
Yeah,
I'll give them that. I will give them that. They have a great anime selection.
Not their advertising,
Oh,
but
God.
everything else is okay.
But honestly, dude, that show still holds up. It's still action packed. It's still great.
Oh yeah.
I'm remembering a lot of things like, oh wow, yeah, that's right. Like, oh, that's that. Like, it's honestly a great show.
Hell
That,
yeah, dude.
like I dropped earlier, Yu Yu Hakusho, watching the shit out of that.
Classic.
So good.
The
And then I
final
came to
battle.
realization, R.I.P.D. is just a ripoff of that.
Yeah,
It really is. It really is. Except they
what-
just added like a whole division and all
Yeah.
that shit. It's like, oh, okay.
It's like you're
Like-
fighting demon souls and trying to.
And you're a fucking cop.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Now you got the laser.
Oh, what is
blaster
it?
or
Ghost
the-
Detective? Yeah, it's
something
like
that.
that's what he is. It's like, come on.
Uh,
Like, that's. I'm hoping that's one they don't remake, or
Yu-Yu?
live action. Yu.
yeah, I don't really want them to because it's like just leave it there in
Leave
its
it
glory.
alone.
It's like Bleach. Only up to basically end of the Hollow arc,
Mm-hmm.
it's good. Once you go into the full brain and all that other, and then just end it when you
Leave it.
Okay, spoilers, but it's kind of been out for like years now.
So if you're a fan,
Yeah.
you should know this.
Yeah, you should know this. At the very end of the Hollow arc, Ichigo loses his powers because he uses all of his powers as a final big move, and it's fucking amazing. But they should have like, okay, he loses his powers. That's the end of the story. Or maybe there's like he sort of slowly regains it, or just has like fragments of it, so he can still talk to them, but he doesn't have his actual powers anymore.
Yeah.
But they try to continue it with other. I'm like, nah, dude.
That's enough.
You had this huge buildup and this massive climax, and then it just kind of finishes, which is still good.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to restart the
Then you're trying to like, oh god.
No. Just finish it.
Just leave it as is.
Clean.
Leave it as
easy.
is.
It's like, okay. But it's like, I hope that they don't try to continue that sort of garbage. And if they were to make it as live action, I want them to
Well,
stick.
Bleach is already live action.
It is?
Yeah.
I thought it was just
It's
the-
on Netflix.
I have not seen it.
Oh, you don't have to. It's terrible. It's terrible. You didn't know Bleach is on there?
No.
Do you know Full Metal Alchemist is on there too?
I had heard stories that
It's
they
on
were,
there. It's garbage. Dude.
Why are they destroying our childhood?
All right. Well, back to the subject at hand. Favorite show on Toonami?
I think I said Bleach.
Oh, is it just Bleach?
Yeah, it was pretty much
okay.
Bleach. Because, well, one thing is that years ago, story time. No, it's
Story
secret
time.
time.
Secret time?
But years ago, I was with some of my family members out in Manzanillo, Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And it was late at night, like 11 o'clock. And my dad, he's out doing things, and I'm just at the house chilling. And it was pretty late at night. I wasn't sleepy, but I still wanted to stay up and watch
Yeah.
some TV. So I asked my cousin, it's like, how would I use it? Showed it to me, and I found Toonami.
Oh, so that's how you found it.
Fucking Bleach. And they had the English dub.
In Mexico?
Yeah, with Spanish subtitles. I'm like, yo.
Which
well,
is very rare in
this
itself.
was like probably 12 or 11. It was just young when I was still young.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was quite a few years ago. So the anime popularity here in the U.S. jumped up maybe 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, I would say so.
So in Mexico, it's only now starting to pick up. So back then,
it was like dead.
completely dead. I mean, like Bob Esponja Bob, it was dubbed over in Spanish, but that's because it's a super mega popular TV show. Anime, forget about it.
Fuck
Use
it.
whatever you got.
And that's what, now, honestly, that goes to my point. It's not until now, like, where it's okay. And everyone's like, oh, how do you know so much about Dragon Ball Z? 'Cause, motherfucker, I've loved it forever, and I've had to hide it.
Since its
Like, come on.
creation.
It was like a subgroup of people that were like, oh, yo, you like Dragon Ball Z? Fuck yeah, I do. Fuck yeah, I do.
And it's only now that Dragon Ball Z is becoming adopted really heavily into the hip hop scene.
Oh, yeah.
Heavily, even in mentioning
Just
raps
animes
and
in
lyrics.
general. Like, I showed you that
Heavily Dragon Ball,
song.
but yeah, a lot
I showed
of
you that
anime.
song that had to do, literally, was straight out of fucking My Hero Academia. It had to do with, like, Bakugo and shit.
Yeah,
And honestly, it
there you
just
go.
shows how more accessible it is now, and people are like, yeah, it's fine.
Well,
That's all right.
it could be also accessibility, but also just general relative acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Because like a lot of these shows, there's even shows that I've watched that are slice of life, which is very simple. very
I've tried to
down
get into
earth.
those, man. It has to be a good one.
Well, the thing is, you have to look at. You can't watch it as sort of like action oriented, where there's going to be huge, heavy action.
No, I know.
But you have to look at it on a very subtle emotional level.
Yeah.
And when you look at it in a very subtle emotional level, then you start to see all the nuances that happen. It's like, oh, I can kind of start to relate how all these things are happening, all the different sequences of events that are happening to this person that comes to like a totally crazy end.
No, I understand it. It's just it has to be one. I haven't found one that piques my interest and keeps me wanting to watch it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
a lot of the slice of lives are very much romantic types. So it's definitely for its own niche crowd. But you know, as why I say to like most animes, like give it a chance.
Yeah.
There are some slice of life.
Like what would you recommend?
There's one corny name. It's called Say I Love You. But it's fucking adorable. Holy.
It's called Say I Love You.
It's a weird name, but it's great. It's actually good.
I'm not. It's just I'm not. It's just I'm laughing at the fact. I'm like, oh wow, okay, that's the title. That's the title you want to go for.
Where's the dang controllers?
It's one of those things. Like, oh my god. But honestly, dude, if it's a slice of life, I think you left him up there, didn't you? Yes, you
Yes,
did.
I did.
Oh yeah. We're forgetting everything today, aren't we?
My bad.
Both of us. But the thing is, for animes, for me, it has to be something that really piques my interest. And I've tried, like, even action animes. There are certain ones that I'm not fond of. Like, everyone loves Attack on Titan.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone loves it. I don't mind it.
Yeah, same here.
It's okay.
I like it, but I'm not losing my shit over it.
Yeah. I'm like, I honestly don't know the characters. I don't know the characters.
You really...
And, like, the thing, I don't care.
In the first arc, you really don't need to know many of the characters. It's only later on that things start to happen to specific characters.
See, the problem is nowadays a lot of people hype up animes, and it's just like, okay, like My Hero Academia. I kind of knew about it for a little bit there, but I never watched it because it got hyped up for a little bit. I peeked into it. Awesome. Great anime. Well, Attack on Titan was one of them where it's like, okay, everyone's hyping this up so much. I'll check. It's like it undersold itself.
Well, one of the biggest things that was a pull for them was the whole ultra-violent, or quote-unquote ultra-violence, having the people's arms getting bitten off, crushed, stomped, all that, eaten. It's like, okay, yeah, that's violent and graphic and crazy, but that's more of like
I don't feel for my
shock value.
characters.
It was shock value.
Yeah, I don't feel for the
like
characters.
You're really building on the characters' problems.
Because look at the animes that we like, or that we just like. You actually grow attached to the character.
Dude, fucking...
Or the main character, or the characters in general.
You want a masterclass in character development? Evangelion.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I haven't... honestly, I've only watched some, like, clips here or there. I think you showed me some. But, I've on my own time, I've watched some clips. I know it's getting added to Netflix, so I'm not really searching out for it. But I want to watch it.
The girl that is with the red jumpsuit that you see in all of the videos and everything.
Literally what every girl dresses up as that's a cosplayer.
Basically. Her storyline is fucked.
Really?
It's so fucked.
Don't spoil it. I actually want to find that out.
It's really fucking
Really?
good. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's like problems that they have to deal with relationship. The girl wants to be in a relationship with one person, but the other person isn't like really being a man about it and just acting like a total bitch. It's really good because it goes into like super intricate things that happen. It's like a love triangle while one is having daddy issues because the dad's dead and watch the person die in front of them. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? But it's all those different nuances between the different individuals and how they all relate to each other while having to deal with these, city-destroying creatures that are like almost godlike in power level. It's like, holy shit, having to deal with all these different calamities while dealing with interpersonal relationships and figuring out your own state of mentality and how things. It's like
it's definitely. It sounds like there's a lot, and I like. Not even just animes, but I like stories like that.
It makes you
that
really
make you
think deeply.
Exactly. I like it. I really, really like it. So honestly, I can't wait to see that one.
Oh, it's good.
So okay, still on the topic of like
you
nerdy
want another
stuff.
fucked up one? Berserk.
I've seen that. I've seen parts of that. It's actually pretty fucking awesome. Like I liked it.
Like, if you can read the manga.
Really? Really?
Oh.
Like fucked up.
Gruesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like I was saying, on the topic of nerdy shit. Did you see the Hellboy trailer?
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
It's demonically amazing.
Fuck. All right, let's just jump into it. For people who don't know, Hellboy, the new trailer for the new movie just dropped today.
It's lit.
Go look at it. Go watch it. Go tell us what you think. It's phenomenal. We're going to dive into it. Okay.
It's
So that I don't want to jump to the end cut because the end cut
I'm like,
almost made me just
honestly, where do you even really
like it's amazing.
So there's multiple monsters.
Mm-hmm.
You got one that can cut things in half down vertically, which is
like cut the shit out of somebody.
And he's like what?
Like an In-N-Out potato.
He's like 2 buildings tall.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit! Giant dragon or some shit.
Yeah, whatever
Hell
the fuck
on Earth?
that was. Hell on Earth. It looks like he's in the underworld. Honestly, looks like he's in the underworld.
What if? Because I'm sort of thinking right now in God of War, the video game, the whole explanation of the different realms wasn't different physical places, but the same place, but multiple dimensions occupying the same place. Bam. So I'm thinking, what if Hell on Earth is actually just Earth in the Hell dimension?
Yes, that's basically what it is.
Okay.
That's basically Constantine. See what I mean? So it looks like he's there. Honestly, it looks like he's there.
It looked like it.
I love the fact it's the guy from Stranger Things, the sheriff, right, that plays him. I like it.
His character design, the facial
looks way more like the graphic novel.
Good. Yeah,
looks way more like the graphic novel.
Because in the graphic novel, he has a heavy brow, and he has like almost like an underbite. So he looks very staunch and very block faced.
I can already hear people getting really mad about it.
No
but the thing is, no, not even just that. Well, that 100%. But it's the fact of people don't know that there are different generations of animators for the Hellboy graphic novel. So you look at same
or
thing.
Any other comic books.
So you look at the Ron Perlman one. Yeah. There is a version of Hellboy that's smoother looking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's much smoother looking. You can see. And then there's the original version of Hellboy that looks like this one. That looks like this
Blockface
one.
Or triangular flat.
Yeah, like exactly.
Because from what I saw with this one, like if you look at his lips, they're very, very thin and small, and it has like a very sloped and flat, almost stretched lower chin. So it's like it's very triangular but flat in nature.
And that's the original way he looked. Okay, so I can already hear people like,
I don't like
then look at the original animation. So like honestly, looks amazing. He looks great. And I'm really glad they picked that guy.
I'm hoping that they add a little bit, and by a little bit, I mean a lot more punch to the pistol sound. Because it sounded a little tinny, a little weak. But it looked fucking dope. Massive.
Oh, yeah.
So
I want to know what... you think this is going to be like an 80s movie or modern time?
I'm hoping...
Especially with the soundtrack in the background.
The soundtrack in the background, it was pretty...
The mood,
it had a lot of
set.
comedy-esque type of portions in it. I think it might be kind of pulling a lot towards the 80s style, but still trying to maintain a sense of modern times. Sort of, I'd say like Ragnarok.
Probably, yeah.
Where they had like essences
is it
and
the 80s theme is like the thing right now. You notice that?
Yeah.
The 80s theme is like hot right now for movies.
I think
Guardians or not Guardians. Well, I guess Guardians.
Well, Guardians
70s.
Too.
But Ragnarok's the biggest example of that. Like
I think it's a little bit of the music and also how different it looks. Because if you look at like stylings and overall major themes of today, there really isn't. The last big overall theme we had was the bling era. That was the bling era. We had maybe the hipster era here and there, but now it's kind of just like the meh era.
We're the meh.
So before bling, era. You had the 90s
NEH
sort of thing. The bling. That was like what 2000 to 2010.
Yeah,
approximately.
Fuck.
Before that, you had grunge and punk and sort of like that in the 90s, from 90 to 2000. And then you had the 80s. With the 90s, you had some iconic looks and themes, like the triangles and the circles, you know, kind of old school Taco Bell, McDonald's stuff.
Oh, God, like that photo you sent me?
Yeah. And the 80s was the last one that had, like, really striking different design styles. Like, if you look at design styles not only from furniture, but to architecture, to vehicle interiors, they were all relatively similar in overall aesthetic style. But nowadays, there really isn't that. Like you have the curvy, smooth lines of like the Tesla Model 3, You have other ones like the Variant pickup truck, which is like futuristic. Then you have like the Aventador with like super angular. There's really no consistent design language across most of things these days. So like if you look at the 70s, when you think of the 70s, you think of 70s style furnishings.
Yeah, you think
clothing,
of fucking shag carpeting,
low ceilings, wooden panels on like the kitchen countertops. That sort of stuff. So nowadays there really isn't much of any of that. So people are trying to get back to a time that of like familiarity, because the majority of people who were born in that time kind of grew up around those sort of things. Because if you like did your whole place 80s style, you're gonna keep the 80s style until the 2000s. You're not gonna redesign.
It's funny because I see a lot of these movies, and I say movies, not just their soundtracks or anything. Movies that like that 80s fucking thing. Yeah. And I get it. You know, maybe that is a good explanation that we're just a meh kind of era right now. We're not having a lot.
We don't really have a consistent relative design.
So maybe that's it. Yeah. That makes sense. Because I mean, back to the trailer. Sorry, we have to talk about this trailer, man. There's so much about it.
So I'm hoping that they do bring like that whole 80s
aesthetic to it.
Yeah, because that style was really, really cool.
And it feels like it's gonna have that way. And I like the fact they kind of make Hellboy more like his character, where it's like frustrated. I hope he drinks. It sounds bad to say, but remember he drinks. Yeah. So it's like I hope he drinks because that's why he does drink. Because he's frustrated. Yeah. He can't fit in.
He's like a regular guy just fucking fed up with shit.
Exactly. So I'm like, okay, hopefully they add that.
I'm on your side, guys. Come on. It's like, yo, sorry, man. It's like, come on, man.
I know.
I'm the big red guy.
Honestly, I'm really glad they picked the sheriff from Stranger Things to be him. Yeah. Because he seems like he's going to fit that role so well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like his performance in Stranger Things was really, really authentic. And I'm looking forward to his performance in this one. I'm glad they gave him a chance. Okay. I'm just hoping that they'll get Brendan Fraser in something.
Remember in the first one, I don't know if you saw it in the clip, in the trailer, but it looks like they have the Nazi guy in it. The guy with the knives. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you saw him, but it looks like he was there.
I didn't see him.
He was literally, you know that clip where before the house is like flipping upside down and it's going crazy and there's like a big explosion? That explosion, if you look off to the right, it looks like it's him. Like the knives guy, the Nazi guy. So maybe
it's a good chance.
Maybe he's in the movie.
If it's part of the original origin behind it, like the whole reasoning as to why he came into this world, then it's like okay, he's tied into it. So you have to have him part of it.
Kind of have to have him in it.
It's not like you're gonna retcon the entire origin story if you're basing it off the comic. It's like okay, comic everything except this.
And honestly,
origin.
It looks like it's gonna go with the comic.
It
looks like it. I'm hoping.
I'm like, if you look at other productions that are following comics, and you got Infinity War, that whole thing, which the naming, okay, but it's like they're trying to follow the comic because that's what people know. If you're gonna stick with something that people already know, then stick with the majority of the source material. Yeah, don't try to change like Fantastic Four.
Oh God, Fantastic Four, that fucking movie.
We get it.
That movie was so bad, it was frustrating. So bad it was frustrating. It's like, how do you mess up such a basic concept of the Fantastic Four? You got a rock guy, you got a guy that catches on fire, you got a guy that can stretch, and then you got a chick that's invisible. Really not a hard thing to fuck up, and yet they have fucked up 3 franchise tries. 3 times. Everyone forgets about the 70s one, the one that we had in 2000s, and then this terrible one with Michael B. Jordan.
Technically, it was 4 then, because you had Silver Surfer. What was it?
No, I'm talking launches of the franchise.
I am Galactus.
I'm talking relaunches of the franchise. And it's 3 technically, because it's the 70s, the early 2000s.
Well, no, it'd be 2 then, because the 70s was the original.
3, because the one with Michael B. Jordan would be the 3rd attempt.
Well, so you had the 70s, and you had the 2000s, and you had Michael B. Jordan. Yeah. So that's 2 reboots.
3.
1 was the original, and then
I would say relaunch. You're right. Reboot, relaunch. Yeah,
what's the fucking suffix?
I know.
No, not suffix. Prefix.
I know. I messed up. My bad. I understand my wording now.
But yeah, it's like they tried 3 times to make it popular.
How do you mess it up 3 times? Come on. It's there in the comic book. Well, it's right there.
The reason why is because it's Fox. Remember. But now that Marvel has control over it again, maybe we'll see that they're gonna get reintroduced into the Avengers for Ultimate Avengers.
I honestly hope so. I've been saying Ultimate Avengers since the beginning.
Well, that's the fourth. That's the fourth.
I know.
Avenger,
I've been saying Ultimate Avengers since the first movie, since Iron Man. Since Iron Man, it felt like they were gonna do. I literally said it when Iron Man came out as a kid. I said this looks like the Ultimate Avengers, and look where we're at.
Yep.
Look where we're at.
All we need is was it Adam, and that's basically really it.
And we're good.
Yeah.
And we're set.
We got Captain Marvel coming in, which poor timing.
Oh my God, we can get into that.
So
I think we did get into that.
if whoever is it Lionsgate for Hellboy, I think it's Lionsgate.
Is it Lionsgate?
Whoever the production.
No, I think it's that Millennium Company. You know that one with the M?
Miramax?
Not Miramax. No, not Miramax. Oh, look it up. But
Yeah,
you were saying.
right now.
Look it up right now.
Well, yeah. If whoever company who's managing Hellboy and making it, if they're gonna if they stick with the source material like let's say Marvel is doing, then they're in for a pretty decent movie. Because if you can see how Marvel is handling their shit with their Marvel properties, they're following the source material pretty closely. Not
and the
not
thing
to
is,
the
you don't have to we just want you to follow it, but not to a fucking T. If you have to make a few changes here or there for continuity, I understand. As fans, we understand it.
Yeah.
As fans, we fucking.
I mean, like you got like Harry Potter, Goblet of Fire, where you took out the Sphinx portion.
Yep.
And it's like, okay.
No one complained.
You know what? That's fine because you gave us plenty of material for the other stuff.
I haven't heard one single Harry Potter nerd go, that's not cool. No one complained. I didn't hear one complaint. Not one. Even as a kid, I didn't hear one complaint. So, yeah, we just want you to stick to the material. We don't have to make it exact, but just stick to a rough cut of it.
Yeah, it's
and
like...
not Spider-Man 3 the fuck out of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, God, that movie. Oh, that movie was so bad. But that's the thing, man. I don't know if it's the studios or it's the heads that want things changed.
It's Lionsgate and Millennium.
Millennium, there we go.
And Dark Horse.
Yeah, well, Dark Horse. It's Dark Horse, of course.
But it's distributed by Summit, of course. Yeah, Summit Entertainment.
Of course. Huh?
Summit Entertainment is a distributor.
I don't know who that is.
They did the distribution for the Twilight series and all those. The Mountain? You know
yeah.
But it's just distribution company.
I know, but it's Twilight.
That's fine.
Oh God, Twilight. I get into that shit.
So,
Shiny vampires.
So, directed by Neil Marshall.
Huh?
Directed by Neil Marshall.
Oh, okay.
And Neil Marshall has done. Let's see, Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Oh.
Black Sails, Constantine. I guess a TV show.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that. If he's already doing kind of cool, crazy CGI shit like
Hannibal,
this already,
Westworld.
Hannibal.
He did the Stray episode of
Ooh.
Westworld. Lost in Space.
Which one? The movie or the show?
Show.
The new one?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Impact and Diamonds in the Sky.
Okay, sidetrack.
For Game of Thrones, he did Blackwater, The Watchers in the Wall, and was nominated for a Primetime Emmy.
Have you seen the fucking Lost in Space? Not the show, but the movie?
No.
Oh my God. I was watching it today at home. I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to put this on. I'll leave it for the dog. I started watching like 10, 15 minutes of it. It was so fucking bad. I was like, I can't even put my dog through this.
Oh, man.
Like, I can't even fucking put my dog through this. You know how bad a movie has to be for me to go, I'm good. Not even my dog has to suffer through this shit. It's so bad. It's literally the lead actor is fucking Joey from Friends. And basically, it's like he's playing Joey trying to act. It's so funny.
Jeez.
It's so bad. I'm like, dude, you should just be Joey. Like, you can't fucking do shit. Like, it was so bad. It's such a fucked movie.
On a quick side note, I found this GIF on Reddit, R-Gaming, of the newest way that you can move indefinitely in VR without moving yourself while actually walking physically.
Really?
It's insane.
Wow. I really wish we could show this to the viewers. So basically, it looks like a moving floor underneath you. It's like basically like moving tiles.
Yeah, moving tiles.
Like moving tiles, and they just move around to you.
But look very closely at the feet and what they're doing.
Oh, that's insane.
It's like you're walking up steps.
By the way, we're going to have video very soon, hopefully by next week. We're actually going to order the fucking Elgato, but I guess everyone got the starter kit to be a streamer.
Yep.
So they're sold out
I wanna
everywhere.
be like
The
Ninja.
last one we found was like what, in El Segundo?
Yeah.
And there was one left. We're like, there's no fucking way.
No
like,
way.
there's no way we're gonna make it. They're sold out on Amazon.
Of course.
Sold on Amazon. But yeah, those
dude,
tiles.
You can walk down steps, up
Oh,
steps.
that's fucking nuts.
Holy moly.
That's fucking insane.
The future is now, old man.
You know that's such a sad fact about the guy from Malcolm in the Middle? Did you know
Yeah.
that? Do you know about? Okay, for the people who don't know at home, Frankie Muniz. I found this. I knew this one, but it's just always a nice, fun fact. Frankie Muniz has no long-term memory, so he doesn't even remember being in Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh, that sucks.
You know how fucked up that is?
Oh, that's
I thought about that. Like, man, could you imagine seeing video yourself? It's just like, what?
What's even crazier, imagine all the royalty checks he gets. And it's like, I get this every week? What? Monthly? For a show I was never even on?
Sweet.
Oh, my God.
You think he watches
Jackpot.
Agent Cody Banks and goes, oh, wow.
It's like, wait.
Is that me?
Is that me, guys?
Dude, honestly, I saw that. I'm like, that sucks. I didn't know that.
CGI has come real far, putting me in shit I haven't even been in.
Okay, well, let's finish off with Hellboy because we have to finish off with that last scene that we saw him. But side note, did you fucking see Sonic? Oh my God! Was it a leaked photo?
I think so.
Okay, so we saw this leaked photo of what Sonic is gonna look like for the Sonic movie.
Oh boy.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
Can you say cheap blue Pikachu? Oh, my God.
No, that's still too expensive.
Oh, my God. It's still too expensive.
Yeah, Pikachu's way too expensitive, man.
Dude.
You gotta go decommission Digimon.
How do you make...
Decommission cheap-ass Pokemon. Decommission.
Decommission. Dude.
Oh, man.
Honestly, he looks fucking terrible. He looks terrible. If you can find it online, you can find a photo of the new Sonic the Hedgehog and what he looks like for the movie, and he looks fucking garbage.
It's very scary.
Garbage. It's fucked up, man. Like, you have... Like, I understand you kind of have to, like, work with what you got because fucking poor Sonic the Hedgehog is a 2D character, okay?
Well, yeah, he was originally.
It's very hard. Very hard to make a live action of that. But can you fucking try?
It's really hard to
Can you try?
It's really hard to transfer a humanoid hedgehog creature into the real world.
Yeah, and I get it.
Who's
I
blue?
understand.
Who's blue?
Who's blue and white? Like, come on.
Evolutionary, that doesn't even make the closest sense.
In Darwin's sense, that makes no sense.
Immediately target. Immediate target. Oh, he's there. Fucking blue streak running through the fucking road.
Him. Fucking nailed him. But honestly, it's one of those things I saw and I'm like, come on. I know it's not easy, but can you try? Can you fucking try?
I just think that they're trying to ride the nostalgia wave. It's just like, video game movies are kind of back in Assassin's Creed and all this other shit.
Don't even fucking bring up Assassin's Creed.
The Animus. It's a giant claw arm. What? What?
Such a bad movie. All right. Worst video game movie in your opinion?
Well, the good thing is that there hasn't really been all that many, but...
Like, the worst of the worst.
Well...
And you can't count Mortal Kombat because that's just a nice little thing in our heart.
That one's so bad it's good. It's so bad it's good. So it's
But there are some game movies we all know that are just bad. They're fucking garbage. So what's yours?
I really don't...
Got you on that.
I really don't... let me find a list.
House of the Dead.
That one was pretty...
It's literally... All they did was just fucking get the title of the movie. Like, that was it. Oh, that was the... That or... Another one that you can't hate on. Fuck. I just had it in my head. Street Fighter. Rampage. Oh, have you seen Rampage?
No.
It's garbage. Garbage. And I saw the one where fucking Dwayne The Rock Johnson has one leg and is towering inferno the fuck out of this place.
Oh, man.
Dude, horrible. Horrible movie. Apparently, as high paid as Dwayne the fucking Rock Johnson is.
Apparently Double Dragon was a movie.
Oh, do you know that movie?
93.
Have you seen Double Dragon?
I wasn't even born.
Oh, yeah. I've seen Double Dragon. It's a horrible movie.
Max Payne?
Max Payne. That was garbage. Yo, Mark Wahlberg.
Mark. All the Resident Evils. The Silent Hills.
Yeah. Well, no, the first one was pretty good.
Dead or Alive.
No. Backtrack. Resident Evil was not that bad.
No.
First one,
but
not
the
that
rest
bad.
of them.
Second one, pretty okay.
Well, because Resident Evil, the original, was still playing off the original game.
Yeah.
So it's like,
somewhat.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
House of the Dead, Lara Croft.
Oh.
Wait, which one? Cradle of Life?
Both of them were shit.
Or was it Lara Croft or Lara Croft Tomb Raider? Hitman Agent 47.
Oh, dude, I fucking forgot about that movie.
You know,
there are certain movies that people bring up sometimes.
You know, there was also a Hitman, right?
Yeah, there was Hitman, and then there was Agent 47. Everyone forgets about Hitman because you just have to. It's a terrible movie.
Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li.
Oh, don't even say that.
2009.
To my face. You can't even look me in the eye and say that. That fucking movie.
Wing Commander.
Oh, the worst of the worst.
Fuck that
Wing Commander.
Yo, Dave,
oh my God.
Wait.
Yeah, okay, if you don't even know what that movie is, God bless you. But honestly, watch it. It's hot garbage. It's terrible.
You know what's
It's one of those you got to sit through like,
you know what's actually, you know why? Because it was actually based upon a video game of the same name. And you know who's the actual creator of said video game? The same guy who's currently developing and has the whole controversy with being a backed video game, Star Citizen.
Oh, no way.
Oh,
no way. That's funny.
Chris Roberts.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
That fucking guy.
So there's that right there.
There's no worry there. But, oh, man.
Let's see, what other the other ones? Because
we're not going to talk about that.
Now's the time.
Oh, the Prince of Persia. Jake Gyllenhaal trying to fucking ride the wave of being popular. Nope. You know, okay, every time I hear that.
Postal.
Which one? Oh, Postal.
Postal.
Ugh. You know what I think of every time I hear Prince of Persia with Jake Gyllenhaal? I think of This Is the End with James Franco. When he's just like, oh, I fuck Lindsay Lohan.
Why? Why is
it was like, what? I was like, she thought I was Jake Gyllenhaal. But one's like, oh, that's fucked up. And he goes,
that's why.
I told her to call me the Prince of Persia. And dude, every time I hear that, that's all I think. It's just like, I told her to call me the Prince of Persia.
What a burn. Oh, man.
Oh, it's so good.
It's like you're known for being
in one of the worst movies.
Jake Gyllenhaal, Prince of Persia. Fuck. That's not. Don't remind me of that, man.
Oh, man.
Tell me why I say with the room. I wasn't bad at movies. Not really, but okay.
I was in Brokeback Mountain. Leave me alone.
I wish I could forget you. You see, you can't.
It's me every time I pass by a fucking fast food place nowadays. I wish I could forget you.
God dang it! I wish I could.
Oh no! I wish I could quit you.
I wish I could quit you. You know what's actually interesting? Going on Brokeback Mountain, some voice coach guy on YouTube did like a whole breakdown of different actors' accents, and he gave a lot of praise actually to the two actors for that movie.
Oh, really?
Because one guy, I guess the Manly guy or whatever, from Texas, you could really tell he was from Texas because when he spoke, his mouth was very, very tight and closed. So he had a very closed off and shy type of attitude.
Vocal coaches or like the dialect coaches. It's interesting, and it's a lot of fucking training.
Oh yeah, I mean, like you have to basically emulate dialects and the way that people have grown up and learn how to speak from their past people over years and years and years, and emulate wherever that specific area is. And in certain cases, like let's say New York, you have vastly different dialects speaking like this from the Bronx, from Queens, and Upper East Side, Lower Manhattan. You have vastly. Oh yeah, it's really.
It's always one of those things that's like, wow, like you can really hear every single thing in someone's accent. That's fucking crazy.
It's like with English accents, you have the normal.
Oh, I love
speaking
that.
of English.
I can get into that all day.
Yeah, like Cockney, you see, or like this way.
It's nuts, dude.
And then you have other ones where it's like royalty, actually, the that sort of is very particular, within high society. So it's like it's very interesting that you're able to kind of figure out a person's place of origin, where their status is. Like a good portion of who they are.
It's fucking insane how much you can analyze
voice.
just from a voice.
Oh yeah, it's crazy,
man.
It's like you can locate. Oh, he's from here because his dialect is like that. It's like what? What?
Nuts.
That's crazy.
It's fucking crazy. Oh man. Well, holidays are next week.
Yeah, that's true.
Man,
that's
you
true.
excited?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Yeah,
somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, like it's holidays. And probably the best Christmas gift I could get is probably a job. I need a job. so I can pay for things with
All
my
I want
job.
for Christmas are my student
All I
loans
want for
paid.
Christmas is a job within games or audio.
One of those two, I'm not picky.
Yeah, I mean, like, because
Okay, well, did you hear? Speaking of, did you hear that they either are banning or want to ban "Baby It's Cold Outside"?
What?
Yeah,
What?
they want to ban "Baby It's Cold Outside."
Wait, who's they?
People.
Why?
Because they say it's a very, I forgot what it was. They said it was like a very
It's rapey.
offensive. It's like a rapey song.
Not specifically mentioning that word, but just kind of describing as what other
Like
people
that's
have said.
the only way to put it. I'm sorry, that's the only way to put it.
Because
that's
apparently
basically
it's-
how they've broken it down.
It's
too.
like the guy. Apparently, from
so
what
you
I've
listen
heard,
to the song. You've listened to the song. You know what song it is.
my mom actually mentioned this to me.
Really?
Yeah. So apparently, from what the song is saying is that the guy is saying, "Don't leave, stay here with me,
Mm-hmm.
have this drink, feel better." So it's like, kind of.
The thing is,
But if you look at,
so
go ahead.
no, go ahead. You were gonna say.
Well, I was gonna say that if you look at the way that people were in the past, they were much more close to each other. You didn't have that much. Well, or how do you? Or what? Do you
Okay,
mean?
the way I see it, if you really break it down, if you
Okay.
really, really break it down, I can understand why it's creepy.
Yeah.
Because it is.
Yeah.
It really is. Because that's like
For
it
sure.
sounds awfully Bill Cosby-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, for me, it still sounds like a wholesome song. It's all about your perspective on it. Like, baby, it's cold outside. Don't go outside. It's fine. Just hang out with me. It's literally, it's a dude shooting his shot. That's how I see it. You know what I mean? It's a guy shooting his shot like, hey, man. Hey, baby girl. Sit down. It's fine. We can hang out. It's not like, hey, just sit down. Take this drink. Eat this pill. Like, no. It doesn't sound like that. And if Elf can sing it, if fucking Will Ferrell can sing it in Elf, how bad can it really be? I understand it. I think there are creepier songs. Look at fucking Sting. No
Yeah.
offense to fucking Sting, but that is the most stalkery song I have ever heard. That is a stalker song. Every breath you take, every move you make, I'll be watching you.
Well, you know what that was actually
Like,
of?
Well, I know what it's actually about, but still.
It was actually of stalkers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
To
a
him.
fucking creepy song.
Yeah.
So that understands. I get it. That makes perfect sense. This song,
Well,
I think it's all about
guess-
perspective.
Well, I guess also the reason why nobody really said anything about that song is because it was pointing it out.
yeah, I understand that.
So in this case, it's not necessarily pointing it out, but it's more of from perspective, as you're saying. It's from a point of like, oh, I want you to
the
say.
best part about this whole, I don't even want to say controversy. I just want to say discussion. Because I don't think it is a controversy. I think people are just deep diving and looking between the lines and reading
Thinking
it how
too
they
much
want
about
to read.
it?
The way I see it, it makes me laugh because it's a Key and Peele sketch. It's legitimately, you know me, I love jokes, I love comedy.
Yeah.
So I know pretty much any bit that I can remember. There is a Key and Peele bit where they commentate on that. Literally, they reenact that. They show how creepy it does sound. So it's like, okay, we all know how creepy it
So
can sound. but
maybe
who
because of
fucking
the
cares?
maybe because of the bit, people are like, oh, you know the song "Baby It's Cold Outside."
Dude, the thing is, that bit is like 5 years old.
That's why people forgot about the bit and just remembered what the
Dude,
bit showed.
it's just to me. I feel like I should post it somewhere and show people like it's a joke. Like relax. Like I understand the discussion. I understand all of
Yeah.
it. I really do. And I see both sides. But can we just calm down?
yeah.
Like at that point, you gotta censor everything at this point. What
Yeah.
are we? Okay, so we can't sing that song. Are we gonna fucking watch? What is it? Dirty Dancing now?
Wait, what's that recent song
Mhm.
with Kanye and was it is it 6ix9ine?
A Lil Pump.
Lil Pump.
Yeah. Okay. So if we're freaking out about that song, okay.
About Baby
Why
It's
are
Cold
we
Outside
not
song.
freaking about Kanye? I'm a sick fuck. I like a quick fuck. No one's complaining.
You're a fucking
You're such a hoe. I love
it.
it. Not a complaint. Not a fucking eyelash.
Well, apparently
bash.
because nobody's reading between the lines either.
That's
Wait,
art. That's
guys.
music. But that is just like, no, it's too creepy. It's very crazy. I don't like it. It's like literally Kanye just called this girl a hoe, and that he loves the fact that she's a hoe.
It's like, come on, man.
Like, come on.
Either some of it's okay or none of it's okay.
Exactly.
So you can't be cherry picking.
You
the
can't just get rid of this one and then be like, oh no, but Kanye is fine.
It's like comedy's fine. You just can't say these jokes. Wait, no, hold on, hold on a second.
See, that's where I'm
'Cause
at
jokes-
with that too.
jokes
Even
are
with that,
subjective.
dude. Even with jokes nowadays, everyone's so scared to tell a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's so scared to tell a joke. You know me, man. I don't give a fuck. I understand where I come from. It's not from a malicious intent.
No.
And if you know me, you know it's not from malicious intent. It's a joke.
Yeah.
It's a punchline. It made the joke funny.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone laughed. If it offended you, sorry, that joke wasn't for you. But realize, I don't mean that.
Yeah.
Like, no one means what they say.
Joe Rogan, he had a comedian on his podcast just recently, and the comedian was talking about that I think it was either him or another comedian that he knows got hired to be to do like a set during some event, some corporate event, and he got hired to be a comedian. But they're like, oh hey, next time or we won't hire you again if you say these jokes that's kind of offensive.
I
and it's
forgot
like, yo,
who it was. I saw that
Patel?
one too. No. It's
it was a comedian.
It's a comedian nonetheless. Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, okay, you hired that person to be a comic because he's a comic, so he's gonna go and do his piece. He's gonna go do his entire
He's
set.
gonna do what he was hired to do,
Exactly.
which is be a comic.
Yeah.
And I understand that
If you're
there's
gonna
clean comics. I understand, and I give a lot more credit. Oh, speaking of, I can jump into this. Did you watch Ellen's new special?
No, I haven't.
Wow.
Really?
Bad. Fuck. Bad. I like Ellen. Ellen's great. I understand Ellen's been out of comedy for a long time. But it felt like 20 minutes of her trying material. Like, oh, I'm going to see if this works. I'm going to see. It felt like she was open micing for 20 minutes with some material.
Well, you think 12 seasons too much?
Way too much.
12 seasons.
So honestly, it was just like, it feels like you're trying material. I get it. The next 10 minutes was a biography. It was a one-woman show, which is fine. I get that, but what happened here?
You know what I think?
Another 10 minutes of her show.
What do you think Ellen ought to have done?
Sorry. And another 10 minutes of reused bits that I've heard 1,000,001 fucking times.
Well,
literally.
Because they're safe.
Some of the lowest forms of comedy I've ever seen.
Safe
So,
bets.
okay. In my opinion, one of the, not necessarily lowest forms of comedy. I shouldn't use that fucking term. There are some lower forms of comedy. But, like, how do I put this? But, like, material that's, it's
low
banter.
effort.
It's like crowd work.
Low effort.
Yeah, low effort, throwaway. You tried it, literally, it's just crowd work kind of shit. She did a medication side effect joke, which is such a throwaway joke. Like one of those things that no real comedian makes because it's not a joke. It's been used 1,000,001 fucking times. So when I heard that, I'm like, wow. I literally stood up and audibly booed. I went, boo, like how? How are you going to use a medication? It's the same side effect joke everyone knows. Why would you do that? And it's literally another 10 minutes of her show. It's just her show. It felt like, honestly, she was just trying to, like, okay, here's my show, plus I'm going to try this stuff out, and then I'll just make you guys laugh like someone wrote it for me.
Well, the thing is, like, yeah, you have the actual science or whatever that has people actually laugh when they're supposed to. So it's like what she should have done is probably write out her material and everything and then do some local stand-up places. But the problem is that she doesn't want either she doesn't want to do it or nobody's in.
Honestly, I want you to watch it. I want you to tell me what it's like.
I mean, like, you're just telling you it's sort of going to sound like acid in my ears.
I'm not a fan of it. And all the people are like, it's great. I'm like, wow. How? Like, and honestly, I'll say it. There were some jokes that kind of made me go, oh, that's funny. That's like, it made me giggle. It brought me back. But then it's like, oh,
the like nasal exhaust.
Yeah. Like a dog that smells something that doesn't like.
It's like, oh.
But no, dude, it was not a great special. And I've seen some bad specials. I've seen some one where it's like, okay, it's not great.
But this is like in a whole nother.
Yeah, like even this comedian says it's not his best one. And I see why it's not. Theo Von, he has a special on his Netflix, and that's when he was on cocaine. He had a lot of problems. It was still funny, but you can see why it's not
struggling.
his best. And you can see why. But with this, when you're someone who says they're a comedian, and they have the syndicating show and all this stuff, you have a huge thing literally on your shoulders at that point. It's like, it's not funny. Like, I didn't find it funny. It's not.
It's like you're trying really hard. You got to really see what brought you into the whole mix and what really pushed you into being a popular comedian. And you got to, like, say, hey, I see what brought me in. I got to go back and actually do the material that people enjoy. You know, at this point, people are getting so tired of hearing.
She was a clean comic then, back in the, I think like late 80s, early 90s. Decently clean comic, really funny. I still watched it, and I found it fucking hilarious. I really did. But this one was like a struggle to get through. Honestly, it was just a struggle to get through. It wasn't that funny. It honestly was just. It's one of those ones that you have to watch it for yourself because I feel like I'm a little biased. But it's.
So I have to watch it to really understand it.
Yeah, I understand where I'm coming from it.
Okay.
It's a good.
Okay.
It's still. I get where some of the stuff she said was still good, but it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to fill in a whole hour and 10 minutes. Jeez. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a long time. And to just come out with some fresh material to like a live audience.
Yeah, and again, I'm not hating on her. I get it, but it's like, yo, you should have taken more time on this one, Ellen.
Yeah.
You really should have tried to write something.
I think maybe that, she's been working on the air for so long, and she's part of the syndicated show, and she does it basically every day from what I understand. I haven't watched the show or really understood.
I've been on the show.
I've been on it too.
I've been on the show. I was actually on the show for...
It was, I think, 2014. For the Super Bowl the Super Bowl show that she had, she hired Burroughs to do a marching thing through the.
Oh, no way!
Yeah,
I was actually on the show in the audience. So there was actually I think it was like her season 10 whatever thing. So it was like her first episode. So I was like, all right, cool, awesome. So she gave us tickets for her 12 days of giveaways. I went to her 12 days of giveaways.
Oh.
On her technology day.
Oh.
It was dope as fuck, dude. So I still love Ellen.
Yeah.
Not just because you gave me free shit, because she's honestly a great host.
Yeah.
Like, I still like Ellen, but
she has quality things, but it's starting to become much more sparse.
This was just not her bit. This was not her time. It just didn't work. You know what I mean? Just wasn't a good set. In my opinion, just not a great set.
Yeah.
Could have been significantly better.
I guess, in the whole trying to continue the same streak, I think she's on her 12th season or something.
Something like that.
It's like you're focusing
season?
a lot of time into your show, which is good, but at the same time, if you're trying to be a comic as well, it's like you need to put in more effort because like
like anything you do.
It's like what Joe Rogan said during the podcast with recently with that same comic is that not a lot of people really realize that being a comic is fucking hard as work, dude. It's hard fucking work.
Yep.
Because it's not just like, oh, you went on stage, think of something funny, and then boom, there you go, jokes. No, you got to figure out the whole set,
how it
individual
works.
shows or individual jokes, how they mesh with each other, how you're going to make the whole thing flow, how long it's going to be, and it's many, many complicated different steps. And it's not only figure out how it's all going to fit, but what are you going to say? What are the materials are you going to have to first organize?
How many times have because I think I've said this to you that I'm trying, I'm working on my shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, how many times I come to you and I've done my whole bit or my whole set, and you're like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
And literally, and it's just a minute.
Mm-hmm.
It's a minute of work and a minute just to do, and it's so hard.
Oh yeah.
Just to try it.
Because
just to build that up
it's
and
a minute,
try.
Because people think, a minute of work.
You know how many times? Okay, you know how many times I've said a bit or a punchline and someone didn't laugh? And I've tried it here.
Yeah.
Like, I've tried it with someone, and you're like, I'm like, fuck, okay, that didn't work. Like, that didn't make someone laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, okay. And then I try to rework it. It's fucking hard. It's really hard. So Ellen just needed to take more time. I think if she had a little bit more time and actually worked on her material and did something, she'd be
maybe even do like a small little improv thing for The Office.
Yeah, something.
Like on the Friday, before everybody leaves.
No, you couldn't do it for The Office because that's your boss. That's your boss. Imagine.
Well, how about this?
Okay,
How about this? She writes the material, but somebody else says it.
No, it's all about the execution.
Yeah, that's true.
No. Imagine your boss comes up and be like, hey, do you mind listening to my new song? And it's just like, let me listen to your new song. And
I guess it just depends on how her relationship is with her office. Is she like one of those bosses that she works there, but she doesn't really talk to many people, or is she like really comfortable with people and?
Information, I'll tell you later. But
okay.
But honestly, it's just there's a lot to get into that. What happened to the computer?
Oh, just telling me I need an update, but I'm gonna start later because it's gonna mess everything up.
Oh well, we're gonna be off in a minute anyway, right?
Yeah.
And like, where are we at? Where are we at?
We are at 54 minutes.
Oh, see, yeah, we'll be off in 5-10 minutes anyway, so it's fine. But yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, I would say check it out. It's a rough one to get through, but I'd check it out.
Yeah,
you left your
mod. I'll give her a chance.
Just give it a shot,
but I'm like
man.
based upon.
Now you knock over my shit. But yeah, it's one of those.
You're
ones.
welcome.
So, back to the subject at hand. Holidays.
Yeah.
Holidays.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things have changed for us as we got older. You know, not being able to afford presents and not
Yeah.
getting as many presents. What do you
Yeah.
miss as a kid about the holidays? Honestly, like for me, I miss the fact that I still thought Santa Claus was real, even though it's creepy as fuck.
Okay,
Like-
for me, it's pretty depressing. It's the innocence of not knowing the family's problems.
Yeah, no, honestly, I was. You want to hear some funny shit? I was gonna say that shit. I didn't want to make it like emotional, but honestly,
Hey,
it's true.
You gotta
Like
be
you
real
miss
about
that
man.
family camaraderie.
Yeah.
You honestly do, and
Now
that's
that we're
where it
older,
is.
we know that their family members are fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, we all have really fucking issues.
Everyone has a fucked up family.
But
it's
it's
also
like,
not even just that, but it's also now that you get older, you're no longer not necessarily connected, but everyone's fucking busy.
yeah.
Everyone has their own shit.
I'm
Now
like-
that all the grandkids, us basically, are now growing up, it's like, all right, well, we're not gonna have any more of those like crazy cool family moments until one of us have kids. You know what I mean?
Or like, well, the whole thing was that, like in my family, my mom has like 14 brothers and sisters,
Jesus.
and they're all relatively they range like about 30 years difference. So, yeah. So it's quite a distance.
Old school family, huh?
Yeah.
Old
So
school.
it's like all
Yeah.
throughout those years.
That's
you
my
know,
grandfather, or like, yeah, my grandfather had like 7 brothers.
Mexican
and sisters.
family. That's how it
Fucking
used to be.
crazy.
So it's like as time progressed, they all had kids, and then as time went on, the youngest had kids, and the oldest of the brothers and sisters, their kids had kids. So basically, the ages all of a sudden unified.
Mm-hmm.
So that was our childhood, where like everybody was able to meet up together. It was still relatively early, but nowadays, as time has progressed, we started to learn about things. We're more aware of our surroundings and people around us, and we start to realize, our family's not as clean as we used to think it was. And the whole thing that we expected, as currently, is that regardless of our problems, because we're family, we would stick together.
Yeah.
That's what at least we had hoped and expected. Unfortunately, as we've now experienced, that's hardly really the reality anymore.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. It definitely changes as you get older, and that's literally how I feel. It's just like you don't have that family bond like you did before.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people can relate to that, even if you have a good home or a bad home. There's no more of that family bond.
Yeah.
As you get
home
older,
feeling,
that bond, which is a natural thing, you got to do your own thing.
Yeah.
That family bond is gone, and you have to do your own shit. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So eventually,
Yeah.
it is a little depressing, and it's like, oh man, I miss that shit.
But at the same time, even though it's like really sad and you're seeing how things are going,
Yeah.
at least now you know what not to do.
Yeah,
It's like that whatever happens, regardless of any problems, you gotta know you have to stick together because you have each other's backs. You're gonna be able to talk to others about problems that you may be experiencing, either emotionally or other factors. Family is key, and you always gotta stick together regardless. And with the holidays, you just gotta realize that hey, regardless of all the presents that you have to be grateful for the biggest present of all, which is that you have your family.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, no,
you
it's
gotta
true.
be with the family.
But it's one of those things, man. That's definitely for sure what it is. It's just one of those things that we
And,
all
like,
miss.
At
that
this
family
point,
bond,
with
man.
all the shit that's happening with the job losses, the closures of the factories, the question of what's going to happen with international powers and trade and just the general future of things, it's like you got to realize that no matter what happens, you got to make sure that you have each other's backs.
Yeah.
Because there may come a point where it's like, hey, I lost my job and I can't actually get a job because there's no jobs in the area because it's all been taken up. I need somewhere to be. I need somebody to help me out. I'll do my best. I'll take care of things, but I need help. And family's going to be the best bet for you. You have friends as well, but family is always going to be there regardless of what happens because they're your blood and skin, basically. But at the same time, you also have to look at your
Flesh and
friends
blood.
and flesh and blood.
Flesh and blood.
Skin and
I knew what you were trying to
bones.
say. I was trying to process it, and it went, skin and blood?
Yeah,
I don't think that's
the
correct.
words. And you
I
have to
literally
look,
had to
and you
pause
also,
there for a minute. I'm like, that.
Yeah. You have to also look at your friends because, regardless of what your family goes through, you always have to know that you can talk to others that are, outside of your own family, be able to get other person's opinions from other perspectives. And, just by sticking together, you're going to be able to achieve more and, do better in the next coming year.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions coming in, or just maybe some general ideas? Because we still
New
have
Year's resolutions.
we have
I
another
have
podcast,
2.
I think, right?
Huh?
I think we have like another podcast or 2 before New Year's.
Yeah, we have another 2. I have 2 New Year's resolutions right now.
Okay.
One, to get on stage and do it, and
Get on
stop
stage.
talking about it.
Get on stage and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And get on. I'll say it out loud.
like this.
To
do
get
it?
on stage
Like this do it?
and open mic.
Like this. Do it on stage.
Ha, 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 ha. But to
Like-
get on stage and open mic and do it.
Okay.
Because there's only so much that I can say and not do it. You know what I mean? I have to do it. I have to do it more. You know what I mean? I can only say, oh, yeah, I can try it here or there and do it in front of a small group of people, but doing an open mic, I have to do it. That, and I want to look like fucking Broly for Japan and for EDC. So
Ooh.
I'm training my fucking ass off all the way up till EDC and beyond that to look like fucking Broly. From the new Broly movie, not from the fucking old one. The old one's still good, but I want to look like new Broly. I've lost a good amount of weight, man.
Hell
I
yeah.
can lose more, and I'm trying to get a little bit more fucking butt, and I want to look like fucking Broly.
Are you gonna be doing to a gym?
Yeah. I'm gonna
Or-
stick to my original routine, which is like push-ups, sit-ups, dips, all that shit to get a little bit more leaner muscle, and then like go to the gym and lift more because
To
Broly's-
bulk up.
Yeah, because
He's bulky as fuck,
fucking
yeah.
huge. So right now I still gotta build a little bit more, so it's still gonna be a process.
Okay.
But that's my goal.
Can you send me your regiment for the
Oh
workouts
fuck,
at
you wanna
home?
do it too?
Yeah,
Let's
because
do it.
I need to build muscle. Because
Yeah.
over the past, I want to say year, I've lost a good amount of weight.
Yeah,
as
you
well.
have, man.
But
You
the
lost a
problem is
good
I've
amount of
also I've also lost quite a bit of muscle mass.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I need to build that up as well.
I've
so.
slowly started doing it. I started doing like more push-ups and sit-ups and stuff like that because I lost a lot of weight, a lot. And I started doing the push-ups and the sit-ups more, and I fluffed it. Like not fat, but like, oh wow, I actually have muscle. Like, oh my god, like it's nice. So once you start losing that more, dude, honestly, run more. Just run. Actually, go running, and then add that after it. Oh, you're fucking golden.
Okay.
You're golden. But
Okay.
those are my 2 New Year's resolutions, just to do that, and then, yeah, that's pretty much it right now.
That's
I have
good,
other
that's
stuff
good.
along the way.
For me, it's probably get into better shape because
Mhm.
it's probably a pretty important one. Also, learn Houdini.
Yeah, that new
'cause-
system.
Yeah, so it's like it's a really great program. I'm able to use it right now because of the non-commercial license. So I'm going to be learning it and then using it for my
What's it
portfolio. Houdini.
So that way people can look it up.
It's by Slide FX, slideFX.com. It's a procedural modeling and FX program.
So if you're really into like game design and textures and
well,
modeling,
not textures,
modeling,
Mhm.
look at that. Honestly, I saw it. It's fucking mind blowing.
Yeah, it really is.
Fucking mind blowing. So you want to learn that?
Learn that. Get a job.
Get a job.
Get a job.
Yeah.
Big one right there.
It's hard out there for a pimp, man.
Oh yeah. Right now we were speaking with a customer earlier today, and yeah, he's basically kind of seeing the things that are happening as well. And we started explaining things that he really didn't even know
Oh, yeah.
about the industry.
It's kind of
and what's
funny when you
going
can blow
on.
some minds, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's definitely an eye opener. People are like,
Oh,
"Oh
yeah.
shit, things aren't actually great. Things are actually kind of shitty right now." But hopefully, with the coming year, things are gonna get a little bit better.
Mhm.
Hopefully, the industry is gonna get a wake up call. It's like, okay, instead of cutting people, like letting people off and doing contract work and shoving microtransactions into games, why don't we hire more people and make a really fucking good, awesome game? Maybe, hopefully, the next year, that's when game companies are gonna wake up and start to hire people properly. Instead of doing like contract work and getting other companies to do staffing contracts and all that, maybe actually get some permanent people into the studios. Because then you'll be able to have a great teamwork with the rest of the development team and really have great efficiency on how each person talks with each other, and they're gonna be able to. It's just gonna work out so
Yeah.
much better. So hopefully,
man.
that next year
That's the hope for next year.
It's gonna be better.
But other than that, we'll start wrapping this up. What are you looking for?
I don't know, it's just music. You
Okay.
got to pull it up.
Okay.
All right. I'm just saying.
So we want to thank Explicit Vape Burbank. We want to thank Ed, as always, for letting us record here. Stop by, pick up your shit for a last-minute Christmas gift. Come in, 21 plus, of course. But come on in. Other than that, we will be back. Oh, what day does everything land on? We didn't look that up. Yeah, let's look that up. We forgot.
Well, if I can do a quick
Really, just a quick check of what the dates are. So next, where are we? Are we on the 19th?
Yeah.
There we go. So yeah, we will be back on the 26th.
All right, the day
right after everything.
Yeah, it's pretty good timing though.
That actually works out really well.
It's like, oh, Christmas, what'd you guys get? And there you go.
So we'll be back on the 26th. So
Content.
we'll be back with our regular scheduled program. We'll come back and we'll talk about what we got, what we like, whatever the fuck's happened throughout the week, all the cool whatever movies we saw during that time.
Yep.
And of course, anything else you want to add?
Just looking forward to the next show, and thank you all for listening.
And we will make sure that we bring you back next week. We're still trying to get more stuff.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to work it out. We're going to try to, just because we have to add this, we forgot.
Yeah.
We might have another guest next week. We're going to try it out. We need to get the Elgato first because that's something that's really big, especially for this guy. We want to make sure we roll out the red carpet for this guy.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. He's pretty big on a certain app.
Yeah, we just got to make sure it's like top quality.
We want to make sure it's the best quality show, honestly. So hopefully we can get that next week. If not, we're still fucking struggling. We're fucking broke as shit trying to get this shit.
Trying to do the best
People
we
laugh
can.
like, why don't you just buy it? Because, motherfucker, we're poor.
Yeah.
So we're trying our best, man.
Yeah.
But next week, we will be back. But other than that, all we ask is that you just be real. I might want to pull up the song, huh?
Oh, my.
Oh, no.
What did I say?
It's
Just be real, guys.